after I have my 1/2 inch seam allowance sewn, so I have one straight line across the top, I'm going to be trimming my extra fabric so that the edges are going to be perfectly aligned. I need to make sure that I have at least 1/4 inch left, so more than half of my space of the seam allowance left, but I want to make sure that the edges are all right next to each other. So that means I'm going to be cutting just a very small amount off of the edge to make it so that all of these little frayed edges are going to go away, and it's going to make it so that all of my 3 layers of fabric are right next to each other. So I'm just going to be very careful, and I'm going to cut right along the edge, a little bit less than half of my amount off. Okay, I want to go nice and smooth cuts, just like when I was cutting out my pieces. And then when you look, you're going to end up seeing all 3 of the layers right next to each other, so it's going to be a perfect edge. All I'm doing is cutting it like this to prepare it for my zigzag finishing stitch. So by doing this, it's going to make my next step easier. So I'm going to go nice and slow and just cut up the side to make it so all the edges are right next to each other, and I still have plenty of seam allowance left, at least 1/4 inch. I'm going to cut all the way, the same as I'm doing here, all the way up to the other end.